What is going on, guys? Today we are going to be looking at the best players you can get in FIFA 23. So we have the 84x10, which is the disposal to get pretty much anybody. There is a few SBCs that either have kind of gone, or obviously there is players like, for instance, 99 KDB. He's not available yet. That could be a potential change tomorrow if they do bring level ups into packs as well. Maybe. I don't know whether they're going to do that, but hopefully they do bring back some of the level ups, as they do possess some of the good cards in there. So a 97 Varane, a 99 KDB would be ones that are unobtainable at this point. You can get 98 KDB on the market, but you unfortunately can't get the 99. So it'll be interesting to see where we go with that. So we're going to go through positions. We're going to have a look and go through pretty much, I'd say, probably 90 and above, because most definitely any player below that now is going to have something of a nostalgic value for you rather than being good in the game. I don't think there's really a better player in the game now that really warrants being in the team under the highest of ratings. So if we look at what my team is right now, if I go champs, I don't know why it's in concept. In fact, Arejo has actually been taken out. If you've probably got that from the fact that we do a lot of packs and we've packed him more than once. The other striker, who I don't know who it's meant to be, that's always a great start. We did get Garincha, who I did want to give out a go. I think that is the team that we're rocking at the moment, but there is a big change if I want to go and get... We did have Zidane. I wasn't going to necessarily put him in the middle, because I think there is one man that obviously does trump the rest, and unfortunately he's not even a footies. It is this guy right here. Milinkovic-Savic is a joke, just purely for the fact that he is 6'8". It's ridiculous how good this guy actually is. He just runs the midfield. Him and Yaya as a pairing have been sensational. Obviously, Ronaldinho, Govu. I'm kind of toying between Garincha, Ginola, and obviously Czech has got to be in the running at some point. But that is currently the team that we're rocking. We've done all the SBCs now. I think the only one left is Frimpong from yesterday, which is not a problem at all, because we know full well that's going to be very easy to get. And then we've obviously got to do a lot of the 90 plus footies, team of the season, shapeshifter picks as well to get some of the 99s. If we are looking at goalkeepers, I think there's only a handful of options that I'd go through. If I'm looking 90 and above, depending on what your kind of grinding level is, I would say most of these now are pretty obsolete. I would say Van der Sar is still an option that could definitely be warranted. Your prime, I'd say you'd rather go with the team of the year if you can get away with it. Other keepers I'd probably go with. Alisson's going to be on that big list. I personally thought Oblak was okay. Again, whether I'd say he's worth doing, it would all depend. And then there's obviously one big keeper that is an SBC that you can't get anymore, and that is going to be Tapsoba. I would say these keepers, bar from obviously Tapsoba, we managed to get on the second account. We didn't actually do him on the first, as... Actually, I don't even know why. We did him on the second purely to spread the fodder at that point, but most definitely a very good keeper if you've ever have tried against him. Compared to between him and Walker, I feel like Tapsoba does come out on top in my opinion, but it all depends on how you play. Courtois, always been very good. Team of the year was a very nice time, but I do think at that point we already had Van der Sar, so it was kind of dependent on who you wanted to go for. And as you can see, Van der Sar definitely played more matches, which was the perfect option for me. He worked really well for chem points as well. But again, Van der Sar normally comes out on top. Oblak, again, is a nice keeper, but I think then overshadowed by Alisson, as Alisson is absolutely phenomenal. We keep changing him out, so we don't actually have many games played with him. Because I don't change the chemistry and he didn't play over 1,000 matches, I don't bother swapping them. I just put him straight in. So we have got a brand new one again, which more than likely we've packed 15 or 16 times. If I was being brutal, I think a lot of people doing the 84x10, I think Alisson definitely goes into that standard goalkeeper role for me. The rest are top of the top, but I do think most definitely Alisson would come out on top on that option. If we're looking at our right back, I think Klaus has always got to have a shout. Dumfries is there. I do think obviously Carfu is there. Whether I think Reece James is there now, I would say Frimpong has definitely got a shot. I don't know if he must be coming in as a right back now, but obviously you will see a lot of the best will be footies, and that is because we can go get them. There is obviously a few that we haven't got yet, but we have played with in the past. It is just about getting them right now. If then we add in Hakimi, and I'd say Rosa Leon, and I think Zaha as well could still be in contention. If we look at the rest, I think Sadili was nice at the time. The level up was very, very good. Other than that, Di Lorenzo, always like. But again, we are looking at now a point where we can go get anybody. I believe, bar from Hakimi, everybody else can be got, I want to say, because we have the 90 picks. We can get Frimpong as an SBC. Carfu's in Icon. Oh, Carfu isn't in Icon picks, actually, so you can't actually get Carfu anymore. Obviously, Carvajal, Dumfries is. Klaus. I'd like to tell you about skycoach.gg. They offer many features within the FIFA franchise, from FIFA coins to FIFA Weekend League boosts, from trusted sellers, pro players, and are the best prices on the market currently. They have fast delivery, high quality services, lots of games, and also a cashback program. The more coins you buy, the more eligible you are for cashback options. So if you want to buy FIFA coins at the best price, click the link in the description of this video. It will be active promo code for 10% discount from my subscribers. All you have to use is the code JT11 at the checkout to receive this bonus. On to the video. It's not in this week, is he? I'm pretty sure he was last week. We've managed to get him. So he is in the picks. Hakimi's not in packs, which more than likely will come back on Friday, potentially. Then Rosalion's in packs, and also Zaha is. So in terms of the players that we can get, they are all there pretty much. If I was thinking my favourite, at the moment, in fact, there is one other that probably won't make the centre mid role, but he does make my right back role, and that's going to be Llorente. Unfortunately, no, the SBC must be there still, actually. With the SBC, is he still there? Llorente, I'm pretty sure he was there a couple of days ago, but he might have finished by then. Rodrigo, I think he has, so Llorente is actually done now. If, obviously, you didn't finish him by the looks of it, we've just got the icons, Rodrigo, and then it's like the new ones like Thiago and Frimpong who are still in. So, unfortunately, Llorente has gone now, and I would say he's probably my choice. Because if I was going away from him, then if I put him in the corner, because he would have been my choice, because he has been absolutely brilliant for me in that right back role. His stats are just absolutely perfect. I think if I was going for the next one, the Frimpong's not a bad option. I haven't really used him massively yet. Judging from the stats, 4-4, what was Klaus again? A 5-4, 94 composure between the two. I would say Frimpong probably comes in on top there by the looks of it. We've got the dribbling maxed out, which is perfect. Bit more physicality on Klaus. Defending wise, again, Frimpong beats. Pace is about the same. And then passing is Klaus, and obviously more shooting. I'd probably go Frimpong. I think if I'm looking at him from stat points of view, you are arguing between the two of them. I think if you are looking at between all of the 4 or 5 footies, they are going to be the options. And I think now most of the footies are going to be options. I don't think there's going to be many other than, for instance, Milinkovic-Savic, who would take over them personally. If then we go into the left back role rather than the centre back, as that's going to be a big choice to go through. Left wing backs, Headley, nice card, but most definitely not getting in onto the list. I would say there is a couple of names in. Obviously, Roberto Carlos is a big shout. Level Up Davies, which I suppose would be the 94, 93, whatever it was. Klosterman's not a bad shout, but I wouldn't. Alba's definitely a shout. Capdevia is absolutely outstanding. I would still so say with Tio. I think Tio Hernandez is incredible. Enrique's not a bad shout as well. Then Kamenvinga, if you manage to finish that objective, that was a very good card. Other than that, I'd probably say they're going to be the ones now. The question is, who would you go for? I think it would all depend. Roberto Carlos is obviously the highest rated, so that naturally puts him ahead just purely on a rating point of view. In terms of cards, Capdevia has been absolutely sensational from the norm. Well, I think it was more the World Cup version rather than the hero. Then obviously he got himself the fantasy foot. Now into the footies, which has been outstanding as well. A lovely 4-star, 5-star. I think Roberto Carlos is that 5-5. So he puts himself in that shout. Level ups, obviously Davies is 5-5 as well. 4-4 for Alba, and I want to say it's about the same. Ooh, that's a bit lower for him. 5-4 and a 4-4. Camavinga as an objective was incredible. Capdevia, did I say Camavinga? Camavinga as an objective is incredible. Capdevia is great as a packed player, but I would say Roberto Carlos as the 5-5 is going to just add that extra option. Obviously, Frimpong 4-4, but I think them two together, a sensational pairing. That is going to be great fullbacks. But again, with all of these, I think you could argue between all of these left backs. I'd say Capdevia has the argument. Davies does. Tio, yes and no, I think depending on how you play, and Camavinga would be my fourth shout, would be the 4 I would personally go for in that left back role. Now centre back has got a lot of players that you can go for here. I'd say Lucio, number 1 shout for me. If you do foot champs, Konate would be the shout. Alaba, great shout. Varane, level up, always. You've then got Gomez, beautiful. I'd even stick a little bit of a Ruben Diaz there, to be honest. You've then got Van Dijk. I don't think we finished Koyunde, which is a very, very big shame. De Ligt is always a shout no matter what. We then have Militao is there, definitely. Arejo, I've completely just went off him. And then finally, who else have we got? Because we've got Maldini. Are we missing anybody else from this list that really could go in there? I'm thinking that's probably about it for the absolute top of the top. We have got the likes of obviously Tomori, Blanc, Bremer, Buffon, who are definitely top, but they're most definitely not the best of the best. And I think that is what we're looking for today. We want to build the best team in FIFA 23 in terms of rating, in terms of actual playing as much as you can. And I think in centre-backs, there is a lot of option. Maldini, for me, no matter how many 99s, 98s, 97s come out, Maldini is always incredible. His in-game ability is just far superior for a lot of that. And I do think him in general will always be a number 1 shout. That being said, we've got a lot of top-end centre-backs here that you can mix and match. I've personally been using Lucio for a fair few games now. He personally would be my number 1 shout. I do think he has been, if not as good, maybe even better than Maldini this year. And I think that just naturally comes from just having such a good card. Then being pushed up from, 92, 93 rated all the way to 98. That is absolutely outstanding. Now the question is, who goes with him? Obviously in my team we go with Parejo. Konate looks sensational. He looks an absolute brute of a card. 5-star weak foot. He's got the physical, the defending, the pace. He is just a naturally born great player. The question is if you have been bothered to play with champs with him. In fact, I don't even know if we're even there for him. I know this weekend I didn't get to play, so I don't think I've managed to finish him off, which is a shame. We've got 8 days, so we actually have got enough to go get that 1 game. Imagine if I knew that. 1 game away and I stopped. So we are only 1 game away. We'll get that done this weekend. So make sure you are grinding that out if you are just 1 weekend away. As I do think he would probably go in my top 2 spot. If I disregard him for the moment, like with Llorente, if you haven't been playing champs and you can't get him, then we can look at players that obviously you can still get. So we can still get Alaba. Varane we can't get at the moment until we see levels up back in. Gomez is in picks. Ruben Diaz is there. Van Dijk is still in packs, I want to say. I think he is. I'm pretty sure he is. I know he was there last week, but I'm pretty sure he is in packs still. Koyunde was an SBC, unfortunately. De Ligt, I think, is in packs, but we've not managed to pack him yet. Militao is, and obviously Arejo is as well. Maldini at the moment is an SBC if you wanted to complete that as well. So there is an option there. If I was going for my second choice... Oh, it's a tough one because I do think Van Dijk screams at me. But Gomez, Alaba are nice. I do think Gomez has definitely got that meta factor in him. But I really want to go with a Van Dijk. No. I'm going to stick with my boy. Arejo is definitely the second choice. I think if I'm looking at everybody that we can't get, so for instance, if I was just putting them in this order, realistically, we're looking between these kind of 5, 6. Maldini is an SBC if you wanted to complete him, or obviously in an icon pick, so you can still get him technically. If I was looking at them, I think Arejo would be my choice. But all of them are incredible. All of them are 95 and above. You can't really get too much better than that. So that is going to be the options. Now, let's go for a CDM option, because this is where it gets interesting. We've got a lot of top-end players in CDM. We obviously have the man Virgil van Dijk, if you could get him. I don't think he's in packs as of yet. If he is, I haven't seen him once, so that's an interesting one. We have Xabi Alonso. We have Kroos, who was obviously a season objective. We have obviously Kimmich, who we've got. Oh, we're giving up our Kimmich. We need to get a Kimmich back. De Jong is in packs. Kessie is in the pick. Tchouaméni is obviously not in picks at the minute, but is absolutely sensational in himself. Conte's in SBC for a few more days. I wouldn't say Mascherano's on that same level. Seedorf is incredible, but again, I'd probably skip over him. Then I would say, I don't know if Milinkovic-Savic was an SBC centre mid. I think he was. I would say that's probably where we're going with this choice. So where would we put a centre mid CDM? Which one would we go for? In terms of what I'm looking at, Conte's great, but an SBC at the best, I think he, again, gets overshadowed by these footies. Kessie looks amazing, like genuinely, as everything is with these footies. They have the stats that just appeal to everybody. De Jong is fantastic. Tchouaméni is. Virgil van Dijk at 98 is always going to be something special. Kroos we obviously can't get if we haven't picked him. I think I picked a pack over him, unfortunately, so we just won't be able to get him again. Xabi Alonso's got a solid card. Kimmich is probably the lower end of this list. If I was picking one in a CDM role, I must admit Virgil van Dijk catches my eye. He is one of them players that I do think, in terms of an actual DM, he works really well in that hole. If I'm looking at a formation similar to kind of something like that, maybe even the 4-1-2-1-2, if you're kind of sitting in that DM role there, if we've got two centre mids or left mid, right mid, and he's sitting just above the defender so he can go between the lines, not going forward, he would be outstanding in that role. That would be my number one role for him, just sitting in front. That would be perfect. In terms of centre mid, this is where we get a bit interesting, as there is, again, a lot of big names that we can go for. The first one we're obviously going to see is going to be our man KDB. Incredible, 99 or 98. He's going to be perfect. We have Goretzka level up as well. Yaya Toure. I'd probably skip Modric. We have got a Bellingham, so we're going to shout that one out. We've got Llorente as a centre mid. We can always put him as the offering. Martial's definitely up there in terms of a weird and wonderful centre mid. Florenzi's incredible. If we've got Martial, we don't really need Depay. Gravenberch, I don't think he gets chosen over any footies. Figo's nice, Enzo's nice, but not necessarily going to adapt to this top list. Park's a good card. Obviously, Scholesy Boy is as well. Matthias as well is apparently going to get a cover star, which would be, again, incredible to have a look at. And like I say, with a lot of these cards, Renato Sanchez, Acuna, even some of the icons of Vieira, still going to give you a fair whack in the running when it comes to going against these footies. But in terms of the rating, you're not going to be able to go against them. 97s, 98s, 99s. It just is what it is. If I was picking one out of these, Yaya definitely comes to mind straight away. Been using him for a few games now. We're over 111, which is always nice for him. He's just a big old unit. And I think that works really well with Milinkovic. And I think that is where Milinkovic does kind of the work, really. He's 6'8", lengthy, 90 on every stat, bar from shooting, which is absolutely fine. He is a powerhouse. And that's kind of where the problem is when it comes to shapeshifters, and maybe why we haven't seen the level of goalkeepers come out of net, because they are just broken with that lengthy meta. We know next year, if that happens again, we know full well to take all advantages. He is an SBC, so I can't necessarily put him in. But I think if I was going between all of these, if you have played with Milinkovic, you know full well how meta this guy is. There's just no beating him. I don't think there is a better midfielder regardless, in terms of cams, centre mid, CDM. Just having a look at the cams, in terms of a centre mid, he beats all of them. I don't think there is a better player in centre mid as a box to box that beats him, no matter what you put in front of me. The only one that comes close is probably Yaya, 6'2", big old unit, even the same as Virgil, 6'4". They are very, very tall, but the difference between a 6'2", 6'4", and 6'8" is massive. Like, genuinely, he is huge. So if I'm going to pick him, I'll put him in the box where Llorente was, as obviously you can't get him anymore. He is an SBC. Whether we get a year in review player pick that's unlimited, then obviously that would be where you could get him. But I do think in terms of an SBC, one of, if not the best SBC we have had this year. When we look at the rest of them then, KDB is obviously a great option. We can't get him at a 99. 98 is still good, but I think the 99 is where everybody wants with him. If I'm looking then, same with Goretzka, in fact, you can't actually get him. The rest of them, bar from Llorente, you can actually get. With Florenzi, he is in picks, but he is in the team at the moment. Yaya Toure would only be in the 90 plus pick. And then we've obviously got the 297s that are obviously in the best of batch 3 now. If I was picking one as a box to box, I think it has to be Bellingham. Yaya is a nostalgic vibe for the Prem, but Bellingham is outstanding in every single way. He breaks the play. He is just absolutely stunning. I think the only way Yaya kind of beats him is if he was a 5-5 for me. And same with Florenzi as well. I do think Florenzi has got that same talent, but obviously being 6'1" adds that bit of height value with what I'm looking for. So I will say Bellingham is going to be my number one there. Now we look at the cams. Again, I think this one's quite self-explanatory, just looking at the first few that we've got. You can obviously argue between Ronaldinho being a left wing, but we are going with the position that they are in right now. Obviously, Pele has a 99 as well. Musiala's great. Royce is a solid shout. Thiago kind of falls by the waistline a little bit, but he is a good shout as a very cheap option. Then I think Felix is another nice one as well. In terms of a 5-5, that's going to be very nice. Same with Okocha. Never got on with him myself personally, but I do think he is a good option if you are looking. If we take a little look down, Kaka's always nice just as a nostalgic vibe. I think that would be it. The straightaway option is between Neymar and Ronaldinho. Zidane is incredible, but if you do like skills, Neymar and Ronaldinho always trump that position. It's just natural. If I'm going rated, then obviously Neymar as a 99 does take that win. For my personal nostalgic vibe, Ronaldinho definitely wins. Like, there's no two ways about it. He's a big SBC to complete, but most definitely is worth every penny of doing it. If I was kind of going between the 5 that we've got here, I would probably go with Dembele in my opinion. I think Musiala's been great to keep in this list, especially being a team of the season from the 3rd week, I think it was, Bundesliga. And obviously Royce has got himself a lovely footage 5-5 that is obviously in picks as well. Okocha is in packs right now. Again, I've never really got on with him. There's loads of people that love to rave about Okocha. I've just never personally been a fan of him. He's never been that card I want. He's always been good, and a 5-5 is never something to turn around. But in terms of what I personally like, I've always been Dembele, Felix. Musiala was great during Bundesliga. But I think the real argument is going to be between the 99s and obviously Ronaldinho. Now, it's very hard to go with because all of them are 5-5. All of them have different kind of values. If you're looking for somebody that can play an attacking box to box that kind of gets back slightly, doesn't have to defend loads but can defend, Zidane's going to be your option, no shadow of a doubt. If you're looking for a cam that's going to stay up, he's going to be that 4th attacking role with your left wing, right wing striker, or obviously your left mid, right mid strikers and a cam, then obviously Ronaldinho, Neymar is the 2 better shouts in my opinion, especially when it comes to skills. But you obviously do have the added value, they can both go on that left wing. Unfortunately, again, you can only pick one, which for me, Ronaldinho is always going to be the shout in my opinion, but you could argue between all of them. If I'm going for the best of the best, Zidane would be my choice, like I said, as a box-to-box attacking mid. If I'm going for realistic vibes, Neymar's got to be the shout. In terms of a actual cam, he's got to be. He just naturally has to be. Then we move on. We will kind of put this debate into the left wings as well, because Neymar and Ronaldinho have got to be there as well. We'll obviously put them in also. If we go left mid first, Ginola's obviously number 1 shout there. Martinelli's level up can't be impacted, but obviously is a very good card. Nani as an objective that is still an objective, I want to say. We'll have a quick look in a second, but I'm pretty sure he is still an objective. We then have Pele, we have Vinny, who we're very close to finishing. We have our man Rashford, we have Bruno. Would I say Leao? Well, to be fair, even Bruno's kind of just there in my opinion. We do have Leao, we'll put him in, and I do think Eto's right-hand side is better, and obviously a Neymar team of the season. Other than that, I think that's probably the kind of cap we're going with. Mbappe's a striker, hands down. In terms of left wing, this one is, again, very difficult. I think left wing and right wing are so tough to choose. Most of them can play other positions. Cam, striker, left wing, centre forward. Cam, right mid, right wing, centre forward, striker, right wing, right mid. And that's it. Leao can only play the left hand side as well. So there is option between the two, that if you, for instance, didn't want a right wing, you wanted Pele there, you could obviously do that. In terms of the best left wing, obviously throwing in Neymar, Ronaldinho here, I do like Rashford as the striker, so I'm kind of putting him to the side at the moment. I think everybody can be got at the moment, so I believe Nani should be an objective still. If not, then obviously you've missed out on him anyway. Martinelli is level up, so he can't be got at the minute. Everybody else should be able to be in packs right this second, or at least a pick upgrade pack or season objective. So if I'm looking for the best of the best, Pele has definitely been a shout. I have loved seeing him. He has been phenomenal. So I think it's got to be him. If I was going in order, I think Pele, Neymar, Ronaldinho, Ginola. Oh, I'd say Vinny then Ginola. To be fair, Vinny again is a great shout. He's incredible. He's got that skills. He's very much a Neymar Jr. Like, he is perfect in that aspect of where he's kind of going. Obviously, every year now, if he does kind of keep performing, we will see 98 to 99 year in, year out. And I think, how old is he? 2000. So he's 23, which is insane. 23, that is nuts. So he is 20. He's got a lot of time left if he continues, and hopefully he does. So I think Pele, Neymar, Ronaldinho, Vinny, Ginola. Then if we discount anybody you can't get, so take out Martinelli, Nani, I would then say Leao, Bruno, and Rashford's obviously going to be in the striker role. So that's going to be my list there. Pele's definitely a big shout in this. If then we look at the right-hand side, who have we actually got there? I know, again, there is talent upon talent. Not many people there that I want, though, so this could be interesting. We have got Henry. Oh, I forgot about Henry. Beautiful card. Messi has a striking role. Alwaran, really, really want that card. Di Maria's great shout. Cole's a great shout. We have Chiesa as an objective that I need to finish. Rodrigo's brilliant. Love Eto'o. And I do also love Van Persie in this. Beautiful cards. We'll have a deep dive in them. Salah's probably now on the kind of very end. Oh, Sancho. Forgot about Sancho on this side. Again, incredible. And I think we will stick with that. Garrincha's definitely a good card, but doesn't compete to these ones. So we've got a lot of right mids. Do I not have that Van Persie? I thought I did. I've got the cam version. I must have given up the right wing at some point. Henry, number one shout. Like, he's just going in. Like, he is outstanding. If you've ever used him, just know that left foot is absolutely sweet. I really, really want to get this card at some point just to add to that collection, because he is a perfect Henry. Incredible card. But in terms of second place, Alwaran is outstanding in his own self. So I would say number 2 is going to be Alwaran. I wouldn't say Di Maria's there, even though he's got the 5-5, which is beautiful. Not necessarily on my list for a kind of a next spot there. Joe Cole, very similar. Good card, but not necessarily taking home the bacon. Chiesa, again, objective. Rodrigo's a nice card at 5-5. Very much the Vinny on the right-hand side, which is always what we like to see. Dribbling maxed out. But I would say it's got to be between these two. Eto'o really, really popped off for me when he first came out. We managed to get a review on both, and both of them were sensational on that right-hand side. Both of them, well, and Van Persie was already left-footed, but obviously Eto'o changing their foot because he has a left wing and a right wing. The right wing really worked well for me, so I'm personally going to go second for him. I would then go Sancho as my third choice, Van Persie as the next one, and I think if then the kind of the follows, I think that would be my list after Henry, going from left to right. That would be where I'd kind of rank them all, in my opinion. Salah's a very good card, but I do think that freestyle weak foot now is going to hold him back massively. Great rating, and especially at the time, incredible player, but unfortunately, he just isn't the player compared to some of these footies right now. And that leaves us with a big position. And one of the ones that we've got a huge amount of options. First, I do want to put any centre forwards because I knew we do have Big Ben's. We also have Del P, and I would say that would be where I'd kind of draw the line with them. In terms of strikers then, we have Mbappe, we have Messi, we have Ronaldo, and then we have more Messi and Ronaldos. We also have Garrincha, we have Govu. I wouldn't say Lewandowski's in this list anymore. Is this the Haaland that we've got? Then we also have, oh, there is so many. We've got Alvarez. I'm going to leave Osimhen out at the moment just because I don't think he's in that same sort of space. Rooney's there. We need a whole list for these. Then also, if we're being... we've even got Di Natale. There is so much option here. It's absolutely stupid. It may be... Oh, could we get away with just one more choice potentially? I think Checker's got to be in here. What have we got? Because we've got so many good cards. We've got Mahrez as a 5-5. Kane still holds his own. You've obviously got a lot of icons. We've got a Griezmann team of the season. Lacazette. Footies, I want to say, is a Footies still. There is a great amount of option here. Czech's obviously got to be put in the list as well, just because how meta this guy is. So I think if we're picking one straight away, Mbappe's got to be that one. He's 99 rated. He is everything you need in a striker. Very, very hard to get from the pick, so that naturally is always going to be a difficult one nonetheless. That is just going to be number one anyway. The question is, who goes second? Because I think you've got arguments. R9's got to be in the shout. I think that is number one in terms of the kind of contentions. I personally think as a nostalgic vibe, Messi and Ronaldo are always going to be there. Both of them on that 5-star. 5-star like R9, like Messi as well. Naturally just incredibly gifted strikers. I do think Czech's up there, but whether I think he's fourth, oh, it's a tough one. I think if I'm going from back to front, I think Ben's is better than kind of what I think. I personally think Haaland's probably the worst out of them now. And again, it may be just because of body type. I think next year is going to be a totally different argument. With being an ambassador of FIFA, he is going to have his own body type. I can just see it. Then if I'm looking at Benz and Rooney, I personally rate Rooney better. Govu, Govu was sensational as well. He played a couple of games and absolutely smashed it. Del P, I'm going to put a few bits down. I think Rooney's better in my opinion. Alvarez, he's a 5-5, isn't he? He was beautiful in the first week of footies. Garrincha was just a breath of fresh air. Di Natale, would I go over Govu with him? I think would I? No. Govu was something special. I do think Di Natale is better than the rest, so I think that would be my list of kind of strikers. Mbappe's number one, 100%. R9 is always on that wavelength. I think R9 and obviously Mbappe are on that same sort of stance. We have been given the fact we're getting a Matthias cover star. I believe in FIFA 18 on an Icon edition, there was an R9 on that list. So I can imagine that will be the final cover star. A 99 R9 would be incredible. Whether the SBCs are going to be worth it in September, I'm personally going to do it because naturally that's going to be one of the best strikers we've ever seen. CR7 and Messi are obviously in picks at the moment. Czech unfortunately isn't. I think his SBC has finally ran out. Garrincha's in packs. Alvarez is in the picks. Govu should still be there, I believe, in terms of an SBC. Di Natale's in picks. Del P and Rooney are obviously in SBCs as well. Benzema's in the pick, or is in the packs, in fact, right now. The last one that I need from this week. And Haaland is obviously in packs as well. That would be my best players in FIFA 23. Let me know if you've got any different. Make sure you like and subscribe on the way. Take care. Peace.